Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So please begin asking questions.
This question is for Swami Kripamananda. About managing thoughts, you talked about sublimation. Could you just expand on that? And also the two examples I wasn't very clear about.
In the book, the examples given were like when thoughts come, just remove it. Actually, sublimation of thought will be trying to think that thought or something that come and go, and you position yourself in the Atman or higher spiritual level, and thoughts will not affect in that way. So that is the sublimation that this is. And the Swami has given 3 or 4 examples of how thoughts can be removed. Like thoughts are like rainwater falling on the windscreen and you just wipe it away with the wiper. So it's not that easy, thoughts affect. When you can feel yourself separate from the thoughts, you don't identify with your mind or thought, then only you can do that, detached. So to become detached from the thoughts, so you have to be established in something that is your own reality. So when we are established in the Atman, then the thought cannot affect. The thought is something that's come, I am visualizing, that doesn't matter what type of thoughts coming. So that is the sublimation that Swami tries to explain. You put yourself in the deeper spiritual awareness and thoughts become not connect, they will not disturb you. That he calls the sublimation of thought.
Swami Yoganananda.
Oh, yeah.
Well, whoever wants to answer, I don't know.
Go ahead, question.
So when you were talking, you said that God is not affected because it's the screen. So the screen is not the screen is not affected. So and you said things happen, but really they don't happen. And then you brought the example. You said there was a girl that used to say, "Oh, I tormented my little sister, and then I feel bad about it." And you said, "But didn't happen. Nothing happened." But then how can we make sense of the fact that we hurt other people? I mean, I have made comments or say things that hurt other people. So I cannot say, "Well, nothing happened. I did something that was not right." So can you elaborate on that?
Nothing happened means that whatever actions you committed, you will get the results of it. That's it. Don't worry about it. Don't compound it further. That is the meaning of it. Do not keep on dwelling on it more and more. Yeah. Any other question? Oh, Raji has some questions. Oh no, first
Yes.
Maya has questions.
Swamiji, this is for you, Swamiji, Pamanandaji. What is demonic world, Swamiji? And another question, dark world of ignorance. So people who are enlightened, they are awakened. So people like us, this is the dark world of ignorance.
Exactly. When we are not able to see the truth, we are in relative existence only. So this is the dark world. So I was trying to say that verse, Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami. The one who is has self-control or wise person, they live where others sleep. They are awake when for others it is dark. So like that it is actually, we are not able to find that truth or reality, that bliss, that Brahman. So this is the dark world. So what he said, that go to the demonic world means anyone that has not realized the self, they go from demonic world is always in this world. We live in this world, no realization, and then we die and are again born in this world. So always in the dark world we live. the light of realization has not dawned. So that is the meaning of that. So this this experience of only this world and no higher experience is described as the dark world, demoniac world.
We see demonic world, always dark world.
So
That means dark world.
that is compared with darkness. So no light of spirituality is there.
Because
Light of
demon.
truth we have not seen. So demons are supposed to be. That's why they gave the name dark world. Demonic is the name. Where there is Dena Tamasabrita.
Asurya.
Asurya is the demonic. And it is darkness covered with darkness, very, very dark. Because no light, no knowledge is
Yeah,
there.
no.
That's why it's called the demonic world. So unless we realize the truth here, we are in darkness. When we realize this itself becomes, we are Brahman. So there is no problem. So it's about the state of our realization. This world will be. Swami Vivekananda says, when for an ignorant, selfish man, this world is like very devil is ruling here. Everything is bad, negative and all that. For a little, who has little progress in his spiritual life, there is some divine element. The world is beset with some divine, godly element. But those who have realized, for them it is Brahman itself. So it depends on our experience of spiritual truth, our level of our spiritual depth of realization. This world looks. So that's what demoniac he says. And he doesn't say demoniac just to threaten or scare us, but to say don't, when you have got this thing, you can see the light. So try to see the light of knowledge. Don't remain in that darkness. Don't go from death to again birth and death, birth. This cycle of birth and death, that is the demoniac world, the darkness.
So I have a question. What is, you give the name for
Wait. There is, take that first.
Oh, just a little bit. What you say that the world has a lighted world, what is the name for that?
Lighted world. This is Brahmagyana, that's Atma Jyoti, that is what the lighted world. So lighted world is the world of knowledge, world of realization, world of bliss. And demonic world is the world of ignorance,
Darkness.
world of all these worldly things, material world. That is spiritual world.
Thank
That
you.
is the world of knowledge.
Pranam Maharaj. I wanted, you had, this is Swami Yogatmanand.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, please go ahead.
Maharaj, you had given two different analogies for the world. World as the one was Brahman as the screen over which this multiplicity is projected, and the other as each object is God. The harmonium is God, the mic stand is God. So it seems there is a difference between the two ways of looking at. Should we look at individual objects as divine, or is it just like a snake projected on the rope, illusion?
Yes, it is. The so-called individual objects are projections on that reality, which remains. The objects come and go, but that reality remains. So that reality expresses as all the different people and objects that we see. So when we are seeing an object, we are also seeing the reality behind that. It is like that example was for that. We are seeing the screen, and on the screen we are seeing that particular object. So we should see both these things. Otherwise our knowledge is only partial. So have the complete knowledge. That is what Vivekananda says in Jnana Yoga. Actually we have not seen anything but God in life. Because everything is God, but we have not seen it as God. We see this person, this object, that thing I like, that thing I don't like. All that is, we should see only the objects and not the reality of those objects. So we have to see both. That is the essence of that examples. Yeah.
First to Swami Yogatmanandaji Maharaj, Pranam Maharaj. As the Gyaneshwar Maharaj explaining to Changdev that everything is Brahman, we only see.
Hold it. Don't
Hello.
move this, yeah.
As the Gyaneshwar Maharaj is explaining to Changdev ji that everything is Brahman, we only don't see it. So in Gyan Yoga also, as you rightly said, Swami Vivekananda says, approach everything as God. So the issue here is that while we understand everything logically, intellectually, but when we want to see, does it depend on constant manan, first of all? Nitya Nitya Vichar?
Yes, constant manan and practically keep on feeling it all the time. That whenever you are seeing anything, know that you are seeing Brahman in this form. So let the awareness of Brahman or God be never removed, because that is the reality.
Yeah.
Just as when you are seeing a wave on ocean, know that it is ocean manifesting as that wave. So that is how you will get that understanding. It will ripen with this practice. And this is the spiritual practice. Only sitting and doing, it is not in itself, it is not spiritual practice, unless it helps us to develop this seeing Brahman.
This understanding
Why
has to be.
Vivekananda says, don't seek God, see God. What to seek? It is right in front of us. See that God.
Okay, another question for Swami Kripamanandi Maharaj, Pranam Maharaj. So,
Speak into it.
so
The battery is down.
Maybe the battery is down. No, no. Yeah, battery is out.
So you can ask.
Can we use the other mic?
No, for the YouTube. For the YouTube.
Actually, yeah, you speak loudly, but
No battery?
YouTube will at least get down.
Huh?
I'm holding the YouTube mic.
So in the Ishavasya Upanishad, the mantra which has contradictory verse. So what we have learnt is that Brahman or Atman illuminates the mind and the senses, because sense organs doesn't have anything on their own. They are dead, jada vastu. So how in that particular verse it is saying that it can move faster than this. So, and we know that Brahman is all pervasive. So from what angle actually this particular thing has come?
This is to describe the all-pervasiveness of the Brahman. So compared to mind and senses, which move quite fast. So to say that Brahman is quite separate from body and mind and senses, what happens is our problem is we identify with body, mind and senses. And our reality is Brahman. And to impress that you are already all-pervading Brahman. So you are more of Brahman than this body and mind and senses are not your reality. So that is the real thing, that is more pervasive. So for that it said that though Brahman is stable, steady, it doesn't move. But when there is race, it is superior than, in Katha and also in the Gita it is said, that Indriyas are higher and mind is still higher, but the Brahman is the highest. So like that passages are there. Purushat na para kinchit sakastha saparagati. So Purusa is the highest, like that Brahman is the highest. To say that Brahma Jnana, so they have brought the story of this contradictory nature of describing of this Brahman, or it's called Isha. So this is steady, remains one place. There's no way, as you said, pervasive, infinite. How can it be move from one place to another? It cannot move. But it seems that wherever mind goes, before that Brahman is there. There is no place that Brahman is not there. Whatever is fast going, it seems it tries to go fast, that Brahman is all pervading. That proves that nothing can be more pervasive than Brahman. So to prove that the story that it has been described that way. Or something. You can elaborate this.
No, it is all very well answered already. Yeah, no further
Further comment
need
will
to
be nice.
comment. You have answered very correctly. It is just because he has asked me to say something more, that it is that which moves, but it is the God in that form is there, so it is not moving and yet moving. So it is a contradiction, because it is everything. When you say of anything, it is contradiction. Like you are moving, but you are not moving. It is your true nature is same everywhere. It cannot move anywhere. So, but as a particularized thing, you move, and then that moves faster. The word is very fine, that tadhavatu anyan atyeti tishtan, while actually just sitting without really running, it overtakes all the running objects. Because when that very fast going object reaches a destination, it sees Brahman has already reached there. So Brahman is faster than that, because it has already reached there. So it is like that, that the screen in the movie doesn't go anywhere. But whatever moving objects are there, like a car running very fast, car race going on in the movie, but no car can go beyond the screen, howsoever fast it runs, So it is like that.
So Maharaj, back on this subject. So it's the impure mind which is slow, because the pure mind and Brahman are the same. Is that correct, Maharaj?
If you
When you compare this,
yes, if
this
you
state.
say it like this, that Shuddha Atma and pure mind and pure self are same. But impure mind, the mind means impurity. Shuddha man, there is no man. It is called, now only by reference it is called mind. Actually it is not mind. It is like we tell the address, right there where Dunkin' Donut used to be there. Now there is no Dunkin' Donut there, but you invoke the memory of that Dunkin' Donut that used to be there. So it is the mind which was mind earlier. Now it is no more mind, it is Brahman. So that does not move, and the mind otherwise cannot stop moving. So, and the movements that this impure mind is doing, is also on the basis of that Brahman. That has to be there even for the impure mind to move. Any other question? Menaka has questions.
Tells me I'm already, it's your
When
question.
you talk about Atman and Brahman, which is which? Are they the same? If they are not the same, if they are the
What
same,
do
why
you
are
think,
there two
Maharaj?
names, two different names?
When referred to inside, you call it Atman. When referred to outside, it is called Brahman.
What's inside and outside?
That is how one feels inside and outside. When there is no such feeling of inside and outside, then this question will not appear at all. It is, we say, within me it feels like that. Now who feels? And that is called Atman. And that all pervading reality, that is called Brahman. Therefore this great equation in Vedanta, Atman is identical with Brahman. Yeah. So all questions are over, Maharaj. So we can have more music today, unless there is any another pressing question.
Yes, Adi Maharaj.
Adi Maharaj somehow wanted to elongate the.
And a couple others joined.
Maharaj, you mentioned the Virat Brahman. I'm just wondering, like we think of the subtle aspect of our inner self as like sort of spiritual. Like sometimes it gets called the Atman, and sometimes it still gets looked at as just a piece of ignorance. But we look at the Virat Brahman as this very high spiritual entity, but not the corresponding Vyashti, the individual at that level. My question is just why is that difference there?
It's for you.
Okay, no, it's for you actually. So, I think your question is how that Brahman, that all-pervading reality, that is becomes individual Atman. So, how can we equate Atman, that is individual self, with all-pervading that reality, infinite reality called Brahman? So, actually, that self is not individualized small thing that is embodied into the, that is contained within the body. It's not that. That very reality, we feel that it is there. That ultimate is that all-pervading, our real self is all-pervading reality. That is the real self. It is Brahman alone. Brahman alone is there. There is no individualized self. Individualized self, the Atman, is not other than Brahman. We are that infinite Brahman. Just then what about the me? So there is no individuality in Brahman. It's all oneness. So if I think I am that concept of Atman alone is Jiva Atma concept or spirit concept. The spirit or immaterial, some reality that is individual. In some philosophies there that individual Atman are there. There are many Atman, like in Sankhya it is there, or in even Dvaita. But in Advaita philosophy, Advaita Vedanta, it is the only one reality. Call it Atman, call it Brahman, it is infinite being, that you are. If you think you are individualized and everyone is individualized, you have not yet got the reality, you have not yet understood, you have not had the full knowledge, because you are still seeing the difference. Two things you are seeing. And Kathopanishad very nicely says, if you find any difference in the world, even a pretty bit difference, yada he vaisya udaram antaram kurute atatasya bhayam bhavati. There will be fear. Taittiriya Upanishad. That there will be fear will be there. So there is still ignorance is there. So there is no separation, no difference. It's all one. That one appears as many. So it is all I am that Brahman. So that idea. No individualized self. Is it clear, or maybe Maharaj will put some light on this?
The individual Atman is only referring to the receptacle, a confusion between the contained and the container. So, like you refer to water in a glass, but and then in a big tank or in an ocean. Now, is the difference between water that is referred to, or the difference between the receptacles? It is the difference in the receptacles and the confusion that happens between the receptacle and the contained substance that gives rise to this problem, that individual vyashti, limited Atman and the unlimited Atman. Atman is unlimited if you free that, separate it, understand that the receptacle is different from the content. So the content is the same, infinite, one without second. This Pratap has a question, and then Jitendra has another question. I want to ask. Huh?
Go ahead. That's fine. She raised her hand.
Swamiji, you said to see God in
Huh?
all objects. You said to see God in all objects, and you said feel. Can you please elaborate on the feeling aspect of what do you mean by feel?
The feeling is what prompts the actions. When you feel, then according to the feeling, you act. So this feeling that it is actually God that is in front of you. It is whenever you are in any situation, when you are looking at a flower, one has to learn to see it as God appearing as flower, God appearing as house. The house, the flower, and such things will change. What will not change is the God appearing as that. So that should be felt. What happens is we feel only the object but not the reality of it. And thus our actions are pertaining only to the partial information, that object. And so the attractions and repulsions based on that appear. But when we see that particular object is only an appearance of God, when we feel like that, our reactions, responses will be completely different. Yeah.
I just want to say something that I have experienced, not in the form of question, but in all humility, that what I have understood, I will tell you, and then you can add something. That seeing every object is
when the mind steps in. I see, I am aware, my experience is awareness of something rather than nothing, isness. It is, whatever it is, because the object doesn't tell me anything, right? And so my experience that you never noticed before, but instantly your experience, instantly is awareness of something rather than nothing, meaning awareness of isness. So right there, that experience is always going to be there. That is always, I call it a satchit, always. And then, because I don't know the object, so this God has designed this intelligence that has designed the mind. So the mind steps in and says by thought, it is a tree. Now, when I say it is a tree, I had the memory of tree learned from the childhood conditioning. And of tree is now arising as thought. And I say, I see a tree. So when I say, I see a tree, it's a thought only, right? So this thought is one with the consciousness. It has to be. That body don't have this thought. And also another way is to vrittignan. There is a motion of consciousness which is a thought. A particular motion is a table, particular motion is a dog, particular motion is this. Vrittignan, they call it vrittignan. So then also I see that even a harmonium or microphone or any object is ultimately experienced only as thought. And that's why it is also consciousness, chitta, of awareness of some object. So ultimately, the whole thing ultimately ends up as consciousness, chitta. So that's why I see that the Upanishad says, Sarvam idam khalu idam Brahman. They say, right? Consciousness is all there is. So that's how I see very clearly in my experience that why we call all objects in our experience as Satchitananda. Ananda, right now we don't because we still get involved in the objects. But ultimately, and that's what I wanted to say, whether my understanding it helps me a lot in daily life also. And also I want to add one more point is that this pratap that I take real is really only a thought. Because when anybody asks me a question, I always answer from the mind. Right? So anything that I answer from the mind is a thought. So this pratap is a thought. Is a spokesperson for the mind, so that I can talk and share my knowledge with other minds that are just like mine. You know, and most of the part of the mind is a functional knowledge, like of medicine, engineering, and all that. Only some parts are problematic, psychological. I'm Muslim, I'm this, I'm that. I don't believe, my opinion, those things, all are thoughts. So now the I am the me, I is a thought, and when the tradition tells us to control the mind and control anger and jealousy and all those, anger, jealousy, everything is also thoughts, perceived and all that. And pratap is also thought. So when I'm trying to struggle to control and all that, I'm really creating artificial duality. Taking me as real, fighting with other thought, fighting with other thoughts. So that helps me tremendous, because when I don't support those things with me as a real, who has the anger and who has all that, when this other desire keep dancing like a platform I'm providing. Because anger is When it is my anger, then it becomes very struggle, lot of struggle. But when this I, this understanding that it's a thought, there is no duality between that and other thought. And it drops away, this me drops away. And with that, the desire, jealousy, those thoughts also cannot dance anymore. They drop away. What a peace and all those things. I want to confirm that we have the experience, and that's what we call God in her. Because ultimately, instantly, it is isness. An object can never be known in themselves. They don't tell us what they are, right? So that is another reason for Advaita. Only consciousness designed the mind, and ultimately we can come up and see everything made up of that. And when we, so that's what I wanted to, in all my humility, I shared with you, so that you can tell me something.
So thank you for your observations.
Thank you.
Jitendra, you have a question.
Maharaj, going back to that no mind, when we see Sri Ramakrishna in the photograph, Maharaj, which you said in Keshav Sen's house, where he's in pure joy with his hand raised. So at that time, I assume that he had no ego and no mind, no intellect. So that joy, who was experiencing the joy if there was no mind?
Tell me.
Who experience the joy of samadhi? You have to repeat it. Please explain. It's a tough question. Who experiences the bliss in samadhi?
The joy alone is there. There is no experiencer separate from the joy. There is no a being that is separate who is experiencing it. That is, our common perceptions of joy or sorrow are like that. There is an experiencer, and then that experiencer is having joy, sorrow, and all that. But when it is now, I have to use these words, when and how and all that, it is that I is effaced. The joy alone remains. There is no separate experiencer of it. That separate experience is actually an aberration. Therefore, that joy is not real. It comes and goes. The joy, when there is no separate I, that alone is the true bliss or joy. Good. Prasanna is having lot of walking exercise.
Actually, I have two questions. One is like in Vishishtadvaita, you say I am a part of God. So when they recite Purnamada, Purnamidam, do they consider themselves Purna, like I'm a part, and am I Purna or not? And the second question is I'm curious, like we say there are 4 Vedas, so why for Atharva Veda it's been divided into 2?
Yajurveda is divided into 2.
Krishna Yajurveda and so
Shukla.
yeah, those 2 questions.
The Vishishtadvaitis would interpret it in a very different manner. And that is also understandable given their position, that Purnamada Purnamidam. Both are perfect. One is a part, as part it is perfect, as another is as whole it is perfect. So there is no conflict according to them in that the part, yes, it is perfect, means it is perfect in making. So their idea of perfection of a jiva is also therefore different. It is called the like the Salokya Mukti, that you are staying in the same city like God is staying. So you are, God is perfect, you also are perfect being the resident of the same city. So that is how a Vishishtadvaita will see this, that this part came from the whole. And then when that part therefore goes back, again the whole remains. The whole never became less than whole. Even though there was the part, it did not get reduced because of having a part. So that is how the philosophy is. Logically there will be questions about it. But once you accept that position, then it is perfectly logical. Logical questions would be there even for the non-dualists. It is not perfectly logical. They therefore say clearly that our system is not logical, it is experiential. And what was the other question he was asking? Oh, okay. Well, that is the number 4 Vedas. By clubbing the 2 branches of Yajurveda, actually there is no similarity between the two. Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda, you should count them actually 2 separate Vedas. So see it as 5. There is really no except one story is there which connects them. Otherwise, as the text, they are completely 2 different things. There is no correlation. The story is there that the sage Vaishampayan, he was teaching his students, and then one of the students didn't like some other students. So there was a fight between them, between the teacher. The teacher said that no, if you don't agree, then you leave and then give me the knowledge that I have already given you. So it is said that he vomited that knowledge that he got from the teacher, and went away, formed his own Vedas, that Yajnavalkya. So that became the Shukla Yajurveda. And then what he had vomited, the birds, those small birds, titir birds, they picked it up. They ate all that. And then they started reciting those Vedas. So that became therefore Taittiriya, Aranyaka, Taittiriya Upanishad, all parts of Krishna Yajurveda. So that is the only connecting story actually, but these 2 are different Vedas. Yeah. Okay, then now let us have the Lakshmi. Hey, arrange that for Lakshmi, the microphones.
One question from Charlie.
Oh, there is a question, Maharaj, for you. No, it is. This is for whom is the question?
For Yogatmananji.
For whom? I let him tell you. No.
I recently read a couple of books on near-death experiences. They experience be one with God and a part of God at same time. Your thought on this?
Maharaj, your thoughts on this?
They experience one with God and a part of God at same time.
Actually, the expression in language is not really the experience. When you put that experience in language, it gets changed, because the experience can never be actually put in language. Even the ordinary experience, that it is, how was the pasta? What can you say? Tasty. But your experience. Hey, what happened? Hey!
That was your experience.
Yeah, that is experience beyond words. So the experience that they had, when they tried to express in words, it has this variety, that's all. So now, let us have the music. Ruchi is going to sing.